True or false question, very straightforward. I believe every one of you can be able to find the answer from the books or supplemental materials and my lecture note or so. And also multiple choices. There's a couple of tricky questions, but I think most of them did a great job. And since this is open book, open note, what do you think? Do you think open book, open note were very helpful, or you could do better or same without books and note? 최선중, what do you think? Be helpful? So in terms of our final exam, so do you support to have open book, open note? Okay, so in terms of the terms and terminology and the words and phrases, especially which applied only in the law context. So, but why don't you kind of summarize before you take the exam? Then I can, you can write down whatever the terms or terminologies or phrases you believe will be important. You can bring those summarized document, kind of cheat sheet, with you instead of looking at whole books or supplementary materials. So that might be better. Which means I can give you some time to get prepared, kind of a special your own time to digest what we cover in the classroom, and then you can summarize what's important, what are the critical element in this class. So you can use those cheat sheet or supporting handout made by on your own. Make sense? So I can think about it. Okay, I can think about it. And the essay questions, kind of case study questions. Any question? Any comment? Okay, so I'm kind of pleased with what you've done. Everyone did a great job, and midterm grade will be based on your exam, 100 point plus 2 quizzes, and you still have a 360 point. We have 4 more quizzes and 1 exams. So actually 2 exams, but I decided to get rid of the second exam. So the content will be inserted to the final exams. So more content to study and prepare for your final exam. But anyway, so you still have an opportunity to raise your grades up. Okay, so can you pass the exam? Okay. Thank you. And can you pass this? Okay, today we're going to talk about sport agent. So how can you describe the sport agency or sport agent in Korea? Yeah, sport agent, yeah, 법적 대리인, representative. There's no definition of a sport agent, but in the United States, a lot of people just call athlete representative. Sport agent is one of the convenient way we can call it because which has become very popular from the movie Jerry Maguire, right, which was released in 1995 or 1996. But legal term is athlete agent, athlete representative. So a lot of different terms, and especially attorneys wanna be called as sport attorneys, not sport lawyers, sport attorneys, because they just wanna represent as an attorney, not as just agent. NFL, MLB, NHL, all the major professional sports in the North America, they have to, if you want to be agent in those professional sports, you have to be certified. You have to pass the exam. However, doesn't mean you have to be a lawyer. You don't have to go to law school. One of my former students actually attending my former program, master's program, because he wanted to be NFL agent. He actually working for sport agent for several years, and then he decided to be agent by himself. But he didn't want to go to law school. Instead, he just attended sport management graduate school, and then I think he would have been agent at this point of time. He graduated in May this year, and he gave me some books that he has worked on. Okay, so so this is one of the current issue with agent and athlete, or agent versus agent. So you can see the second paragraph. One of the first such examples occurred in 1996, when the University of Massachusetts and University of Connecticut were both stripped of their victories in the 1996 NCAA men's basketball tournament. So, which means university, this athletics, NCAA, has become major enterprise, major business. What is the budget, annual budget? I just mentioned several times. What's the annual budget of athletics team, athletics department at major universities such as University of Texas Austin, Ohio State University, or Michigan, University of Michigan, University of Florida? What's their annual budget? So in 2000, when I was going to University of Florida as a master's student, and we had a guest speaker, athletic director at the University of Florida. He actually provided all his budget numbers, and then budget was about $150 million. About not that one, just $50 million. So 500억 원, 600억 원 a year. And then nowadays, 3 times. $150 million. 1,500억 원 plus 1,700억 원 정도 되죠. $150 million. Athletics, 운동부. So they try to, depending on their athletic performance, their revenue will be significantly affected by their performances. So what happened was they tried to provide some illegal money, illegal benefit to the recruit. A couple weeks ago, something happened at the University of Louisville. They provided girls, so sex services to the potential players. So high school players to be incoming freshmen, basketball players at the University of Louisville, football players, and then the university bought the girls for their potential players. So it can happen in a major university. I don't know, every school has that kind of same problem, but it had happened some of the other universities, like Louisiana State University, football team and basketball team. They hire some secret agent and then bought them beer at the bar, some other secret services. So this is one of them. And then third paragraph, agent relentless contact with relatives of University of Louisville quarterback Teddy Bridgewater as he was entering his 2013 season at the University of Louisville. Prompt Coach Strong in Louisville Athletic Department to take proactive steps to curb the agent activities. Also, you can find more cases through the Google searches. Before, the student athlete were eligible to play for or apply for the draft, they were illegally, inappropriately contacted by agent. So when I say agency law, the main purpose of developing this agency law or program or policy was to prepare and protect the amateur players. They don't know anything about the law or policy. They just play their sports for a long time, and then all of a sudden, the agent called your cell phone and explained, hey, you're such a great player. I believe you can have a great opportunity to be drafted by NFL. What a great news. and then tell you, do not talk to any other agent. And then wait, and then the agent never call you back. So student very naive. I mean, student athlete is very naive, and then it actually happened to my former Gonzaga University players. They were so excited after they got the phone call from the agent, a couple of agents. And then I just tried to cheer them up, and then eventually they never got a call back. So it's kind of sad, right? So that's the second problem. And then what about the last paragraph? The third area of legal issues concerning athlete and agent involves an increasing number of disputes between agent and agencies. So you will see the very familiar terms. These disputes currently relate primarily to non-compete clauses. Are you familiar with non-compete? Non-compete clauses. You are my intern for my agency. I don't want you to be potential rival. So you have to sign non-compete clause. I mean, the terminology is a little bit different from our textbook, but you are not able to take my client, who are usually the athlete, super athlete, and then you can start up your own agency. That's not possible. But it happens again and again. Recently, agent, especially who are the attorney, they know how to combat against their former employer. I'm one of the agents for super agency, and then after 4 to 5 years, I know this business, and then I have a great relationship with my client, my student athlete, and then I can say, oh, I'm going to start up my own business, and then start taking all the key players to be client, and then they can start their own business. Or some other cases, some other big agent scout you, and then there's one condition: when you come to my agency, just make sure you can take all the key players with you, and then I can pay you double the salary that you used to make the former agencies. And then former agency file a claim. Absolutely, yeah, I'm lost. I lost key client because of my former agent. So there's another controversies between and among several agencies in terms of non-compete clauses. So I want you to read this handout again, right? So to make sure what's the current issues in this business. And is there anyone who wants to be agent in Korea? Not really? Okay, so do you know how much the agent makes? According to Forbes magazine, this report has been come out 2014, last year. The total business, professional athlete contract business is about how much? $37 billion, about 37조. The total size of Korean sport business is about 370조. The total sport industry size in UK about 36조, 360조. About 10% of total Korean sport industry is athlete business in the North America, in the United States, in North America. Okay. So Scott Boras Corporation is second largest corporation, second largest agency in the world, and they have their own specialty in baseball, right? Baseball, representing more than 100 big-time baseball players, and then they're representing how much? $2.67 billion. The contract, $2.67 billion, 2조 6천, about 3조. What about the commission? How much they make? So agent, I don't trust agent. Agent is not working for justice. Agents only working for their client. So prosecutors and judges are different. 판검사 is different. They're working for justice. But attorneys, especially agent, okay, their main goal is to make their client happy. So there is a lot of abuse over their client who are the student athlete, professional athlete. So each professional league's players association, 선수협회, determined you cannot take more money than you're supposed to make. So NFL, every single NFL players cannot pay more than 3% of salary negotiated. 3% max. What about NBA? 4%. This is a set. This is done deal. You can negotiate with your athlete. No more than 4%. NHL 4%. MLB 5%. So you can think about $2.67 billion contract multiplied 0.05. That's what Boras Corporation, Scott Boras makes a year. What about European EPL, European Premier League, English Premier League, EPL? A little bit more. 10%. They have a 10% max. So you might be curious. What about tennis? What about golf? They don't belong to. They do not make salary from the team. They're independent contractors, right? So they can make from the tournament. How much agents can make from those superstar athletes, Tiger Woods, or you can name a few. They can make about 10 to 15% from some winning from the tournament. And what about endorsement contract? 20 to 25%. So if I'm the agent of Tiger Woods, and then you can generate $10 million, then 20 to 25% of $10 million will be my commission. So average, technically speaking, average player can make 1 to 2% of their annual salary. Okay, 1 to 2% of annual salary will be coming from their endorsement contract, average, generally speaking. And then those 1 to 2% of 20 to 25% will be commissioned of a agent. So if you happen to meet any sport agent in the future, then you can ask simply a couple of questions. Ask simple question: how many athletes you have? Which sports? NFL, and what are their contract? Okay, and then you can estimate how much she can make. She can make. And from the news is Park Byung-ho, right? Park Byung-ho and Lee Dae-ho is one of the strong candidate for MLB, right? So a lot of newspapers talks about their potential market value in North America. The important thing, what's the important? You can think about majoring sport industry and management. Just do not trust newspaper 100%. And then you should be thinking from the critical standpoint. What's the important? We don't care how much they can make. I mean, I actually care, but there's some other issue, more important issue than he can make. Kang Jung-ho and who is Yu Hyun-jin, right? Yu Hyun-jin. A lot of newspapers and media mentioned that he can make his average salary about $6 million. Okay, for 6-year contract. That's what newspaper can explain. But my perspective is quite different. He can make from $3 million and $3.3 million and increasing annually. And then at the 6th year, he can make $6 million. Okay? And then most part of his salary is not guaranteed salary. signing bonus, right? Bonuses, depending on how you perform. When newspaper love to exaggerate. There's no guaranteed salary. Maybe 20% of newspaper set amount will be guaranteed salary. So $60 million contract and 20%, maybe $1.2 million will be guaranteed salary. But newspaper cannot exaggerate. Okay, he can make this much money. But important thing is, what are the guaranteed salary? How much Park Byung-ho and Lee Dae-ho can make guaranteed salary? That's important. That's how we believe, oh, this is a successful deal for Park Byung-ho or Lee Dae-ho. Just do not trust, do not believe the newspaper explains. Kang Jung-ho, eventually, Kang Jung-ho didn't make all the signing bonuses, all the bonuses, because he was hurt, right? So I believe this worst case scenario. Chu Shin was hurt, Yu Yeon-jin was hurt, Kang Jung was hurt. Okay, being hurt, that's nature of the game, right? Nature of the game, sports. So why don't you put guaranteed salary up front? He's the most valuable player. Because of Yu Yeon-jin, a lot of Korean people watch the baseball and attend the baseball games. Because of that, he deserves more money. Please reduce some bonuses and give more money up front. That's one of the indicator of a successful deal. Any questions? You want to take a break? Okay, let's take a 10-minute break, and then I'm going to continue for the next 2 hours.